Hi, thank you for joining the workshop at Nanhall. Today we're going to go over brushing your pet at home. So to get ready at home, you need to set up an area that is going to be easy for you to work in. I highly suggest an area where you can have a table or on a counter, and you can be able to work around in that space and put your dog on. Get a bath mat at Lowe's or Home Depot, that way he doesn't slide around. The next thing I highly recommend is to teach your dog to lay down. And if you start at a young age, you'll find that it will be a whole lot easier for you and for him. Next is going to be the equipment that you need to use. I have two types of slicker brushes here. We're going to be using this one on Rocky because he's a bit sensitive in the skin. And the pins give, so it's easier for him. Our other pin brush is a good all-purpose pin brush. It's very good for your Shelties, it's good for poodles, it's good for dogs that have dense coats. The next item we have is going to be a comb, and you want a comb that has a coarse end and a fine end. We don't use the comb to pull out mats, but we use it to comb through the dog to find our mats. The next item we do not want is going to be a pin brush, and most places will sell you a pin brush telling you that it's a great brush for you to use on your dog because it's soft. While that may be so, a pin brush is only designed to use on dogs that you want to grow coat, a show dog that you're going to brush every day. It won't pull out the dead coat, which is what you need to do, because dead coat is what mats up. Our next item we will use is going to be a conditioner spray. The conditioner spray we use is by Magic Touch, and we mist it on the dog so it helps condition the coat. What we're going to do first is we are going to use a dry shampoo or waterless shampoo on the dog, and this is going to help clean them and take away that musty smell. So we just lightly mist it on him and get his face. Take a towel that's a bit damp. Be sure to get around his eyes real good. Most dogs, especially your poodles, drain at the eyes. So getting around his eyes is going to be a great idea. Helps keep those eye boogers away and the eyes fresh. Rub his whole coat down. Get under his underarms. Get his little feet. And this way, when you're doing the feet, you can check and see if there's any mats in there. You can get his groin area, in case your dog does a little staining underneath. You can also get his butt, clean out his butt. Next, we're going to use our conditioner spray, and we're going to mist it on the dog. We're going to get him to lay down for us so that it's easier for him to be groomed. Good boy. And when they're doing this, tell them how good they are, because it should be relaxing. I'm going to start on the front leg, and I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to get down into my armpit area. And notice how I am separating the coat. Most people, when they brush a dog, they brush just the top coat. They do not separate out. And if you get down into your armpit area, you'll notice that you have a lot more mats there because your armpit and your loin area and your ear area, behind the ear, are the areas that mat up the fastest. So separate the coat out, go all the way around his leg. Now notice how relaxed he is. And you have to get a dog used to it, because most dogs are not used to it. And while I'm here, I can pull the coat up from underneath, and I can separate all the hair out. Notice how I'm parting it. This is what we call line brushing. Parting the coat out so you can see what you're doing. And you can do this in any directions as long as it's separated out. This is his groin area. You need to be careful because most dogs are extremely sensitive here. I'm holding his thigh and I'm just lightly pulling. Again, separating the coat out. And again, line brushing. What I mean by top brushing is most clients tell me they've brushed the dog and all I've done is come over on top of it. You're not brushing anything under. In order to separate the coat out and to make sure a dog does not have mats, you need to line brush and get down to the skin. Extremely important. Be sure you get down into his toes because most of your mats too also show up between the toes. On his face, when you're using a slicker brush, you want to be careful of his eyes so that the pins don't hurt his eyes. So put your hand over his face, cover his eyes, and separate everything out. Get under his neck and behind his ear. Pull your ear forward so you can get behind that ear. Be sure you brush your ears on the inside and on the outside. Once we've gone through with our brush, next is our comb. I'm going to start with the coarse edge, and we are going to comb, again, by separating the coat out. I can lift his leg again. Make sure you separate the coat out. Get into those armpits. Easy. Good boy. Now I'm going to have him stand up. Good. And what we also want to do, we can go now to our fine edge, is pick through the coat to make sure that everything is gone. And if it is a Bichon or a Poodle and you're looking for that fluffed out look, this is what gives it to you. I can go straight up through the coat. Again, I'm going to pick out to make sure that everything is gone. And if you run into a snag, if your comb catches a little snag, that's no problem. Go back to your brush. Use your brush again. Brush it out a little bit more. And then that way, you can comb through it again. Don't use your comb to yank that mat out, because that hurts. Use your brush to separate it out, or even separate it with your fingers. Easy. Good boy. Okay, once we're done, we now have a nice fluffy dog that's ready to look at the camera. Thank you for joining our workshop. I will see you again.